Welcome to Geek Week, where the fun never ends. Action figures ready, it's time to make amends. Comic books stacked high, each cover a dream. With Jacob's Toys, SuperSorrell, and Tripe G's team. It's Geek Week, come on, let's dive in. With laughs and adventures, let the fun begin. So tune in now, don't miss a beat. With every new release, TV to movies, new worlds to explore. Toy hunts in the wild for treasures and lore. In the realm of collecting, we're never alone. Join us, make this hobby your own. Retro vibes buzzing, let's level up right. It's Geek Week, come on, let's dive in. With laughs and adventures, let the fun begin. So tune in now, don't miss a beat. Geek Week is here, bring your passion alive. Let's thrive and revive.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
to Geek Week episode 192. With me, Jacob's Toys, of course, wonderful one and only SuperSorrell and Tripe G Comics. I said comments there. Reason being is we've got comments on the screen tonight. Comments are on the screen. So we're testing that out today. So the comments are going to be popping up on the screen so you can chat along. Usually we'd give you the spiel of kind of saying that we're going out across different places and we'll try to keep the chat alive, but fingers crossed, this little feature will allow the chat to stay alive as we're going anyway. If you're new to the show, this is our live stream. We do it every 2 weeks. Talk about something going on in the geek world, as well as like our pickups and what we've seen and news and all that kind of stuff. If you're watching us on Catch Up, Mr. Sorrell, what is it that I need to put into the chat?
Hashtag Catch Up Crew.
That's it, Catch Up Crew. And of course, check the description of the videos. Give everyone a follow, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It's very much appreciated. Gents, how you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. How's your week been? What's been going on?
Busy with work, but enjoying the weekend. I've been to a comic fair today, so that's not bad. And I've been to the cinema and stuff, so yeah, chilled. Looking forward to having tomorrow off as well. It's always a bonus, isn't it?
Nice. I went to the cinema today and saw Stitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
how was that?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah.
My little one cried her eyes out and really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was a win-win all around. Every kid in the audience had a Stitch toy with them as well, like a Scuddly. Every kid was carrying a Stitch, which I thought was quite cool.
You say every kid. Did you have one, Sorrel? Did you have
My daughter did, so we kind of shared one.
You shared it.
Fuzzy Dunlop saying, Pete, you're really quiet.
Yeah, you are really quiet, mate.
Am I? Well,
yeah.
All my settings are the same as usual. I shall lean closer into it. I'll lean closer into it.
I went to MCM at the weekend. MCM Comic Con in London. It's pretty cool. I was there on the Friday. It was a different vibe. I usually go to the one in October. The one in May, I usually kind of skip over and I go to the one in October. But I did bump into Dave's Displays. He was there literally as I was leaving. I was like, all right, mate. And we were like, oh, this is really cool. Like in real life, he's really tall.
He's really tall.
He's not really tall.
I don't know him. Who's he?
Dave Displays Model Behaviour. He's been on the show a few times. He's another Brit. Went over to Japan for a little while, but he's back.
Yeah. He's a nice lad. I was working with him for a few weeks before I ended up jumping on Geek Week with Jacob. Me and Dave tried something, but it just didn't work out. But he's a nice enough guy.
He is good. A couple of people in the chat there saying they were at MCM over the weekend. Yeah, it was good. I do prefer the London one, the October one, to be fair. But this was good. There was brand wise, there was quite a lot of representation. You had Mattel had a huge booth with like a full size like Hot Wheels car, like a Masters of the Universe box that you could get into, all the kind of Barbie stuff. And do they do Monster High? Is that Mattel?
Yeah, that's Mattel as well.
Yeah, so that was the kind of fourth corner to their thing. Hasbro weren't there. There was no Hasbro representation at this one. Obviously Jada Toys had a nice big booth as well, with a lot of Stitch stuff. They had like a whole wall of Stitch plushies and a deck chair that you could sit in. And then they had this kind of augmented reality kind of setup where you could go and like take a selfie with Stitch and stuff like that. So their booth was buzzing. And then they had all the kind of the Street Fighters and the die cast and the metal figs and that kind of stuff. But I stopped by there, had an interview with them, asked a few questions. So I'll be putting that out soon. Couple of questions. I mean, I can give answers if anyone's got them, but yeah, interesting about kind of the way forward and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. Also, well chuffed, got to speak to Steve Cardenas, who's Rocky from Power Rangers.
Nice.
You had Walter Jones and Karen Ashley, who are the Black and Yellow Rangers, and you had Steve Cardenas, who's the Red Power Ranger. And I was chatting to him before. And I was like, listen, if I stop by, like, can you do an interview? And he was like, yeah, man, no problem, all the rest of it. So I like went behind the booth and like sat with him and felt all important. But it's really cool chatting to him. It's always really surreal for me. Like I love Power Rangers growing up, and you know, I've got a lot of Power Ranger kind of representation in my figures and my comic books and stuff. And it's always really surreal, like chatting to these guys, because they're really down to earth. I've still yet to meet one that's kind of big headed and above their station. They're all really down to earth and like love chatting to the fans and stuff. So that was probably the highlight for me. No, that wasn't the highlight for me. You don't know what the highlight was? I think I showed you anyway what the highlight was for me. This was the highlight for me. So I got a couple of books while I was there. A couple of books. First one is Power Rangers. I got it signed by the 3 Power Rangers that were there. It's just a nice cover, and considering the black, red, and yellow are all on there, that was very cool. Also picked up Invincible issue 1, which if you're an Invincible fan, that's kind of a gotta be. But the big one for me. I don't know if you've got this book, Pete. You have to tell me if you have.
First appearance of the alien costume. Very, very sexy. Very nice book.
Yes. Secret Wars 8, 1984, I think it is.
Something like that. Something like that.
But yeah, really, really nice book. Got it for a really good price.
Stunning cover, and let us know in the chat if my volume's a little bit better. Stunning cover, which has been homaged to death.
Yes,
but yeah, an absolutely great book to get a hold of, particularly if you're a Venom fan. Obviously, that's the black costume, the first introduction of the symbiote, which then goes on to become Venom later on in Spider-Man 300.
So this is a big, it's a big comic for, like you say, anyone that's into Spider-Man, anyone that's into Venom, the black suit. Obviously, with Secret Wars, the movie coming up as well. I think this is going to be a popular one, but it's one of them books that I've kind of always wanted to get a decent copy of, and I saw this and I was like,
Are you going to grade it? Are you going to get it graded?
I don't know. Maybe they told me that this is a fine to very fine copy, and kind of inspecting it, I think they're probably right. So yeah, I think it would get a decent grade, but I don't know. I have these kind of like top loader sleeves anyway, that kind of protect them, and I'm not one to kind of get my books out and stuff, so you know, it's protected, it's there. But that to me was my highlight. These two were my highlights. So
is that the reprint Invincible?
That's it's the fans and me or whatever.
Really hard to get, and the original Invincible goes for over $1,000 now.
Oh, that's the thing, is I'm a huge Invincible fan, and I didn't start reading it when it first came out. I came into it quite late, but then became a massive fan of it, and trying to get that issue 1 was just
a one to be careful for your viewers who aren't necessarily up on comic books. Invincible has obviously become incredibly popular. And there's the first print, first edition. There's then that, which is the facsimile, which is really hard to get a hold of, but it looks almost identical. The only difference is the price point on the top corner. But a lot of people on eBay try to sell that as the original. So you've got to be really, really cautious. There's also a Larry's Comic Shop, which was an exclusive to a comic shop, which goes for a good price as well. Hard book to get a hold of. It's a lovely book to have.
So even this one,
not... no, even that one's quite hard to get a hold of. It's still a relatively pricey book, that I think, because everybody was after it, so it sold out quite well. So yeah.
I've had my eye on a couple of couple of versions of this, but you know what it's like when you see something physically in hand, and I was just kind of like, no, there it is, so I'm going to grab that. But yeah, so yeah, no, I'm really pleased.
Never been. I don't know if you've been, Sorrel. I've never been to an MCM Comic Con down in London. It's on me kind of me wish list for next year to just to experience it. You know.
I went a few years back. I got invited down by Disney to go interview Miss Mindy. She was a Disney artist. Her father and her father and her grandfather both worked for the company. I believe one of them, I can't remember which one, helped draw for Snow White, basically. So she's like Disney royalty. And she creates the Miss Mindy statues. Have you ever seen them, like stylized, almost like bobbleheady things? Yeah, she makes those. And when there was a giant Sally, like it was like massive, and she signed the back of its head, and for whatever reason they wanted me to sign it as well, and I signed it, and we basically did that as a giveaway live. At MCM. It was really cool. That was the Summer Comic Con a few years ago, so that was the May one. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. But I do want to say as well that we have got someone in the chat just saying, "Evening all, a long time lurker in the comments, watching you at work on a night shift. It's my birthday. Shout out would be appreciated." So Apple Milk, happy birthday, bud. Hope you're having a good one.
Where is it? I didn't even see that.
That was well back now. But we've got a bunch of people with us in the chat today, so thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. We really do appreciate you.
Yep.
Chris is drunk, so he's going to stay quiet.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
No, he won't. No, he won't. And Wayne, I saw all your pictures on Instagram of you being down at MCM. I hope you had a good time, mate. It looked like you were having a blast. Have to get myself down there.
I was good. I was meant to be there this year. I was so good. Obviously, I had that operation. I can't go anywhere at the minute. So I'm totally good that I couldn't go.
I saw on Lee Francis's Instagram that he went on Saturday in Wolverine costume. I thought that was really cool. Like, just go along just in full costume for the whole day. But the thing is you do see there's so many people in costume. Like, you could so many people in cosplay. It's a massive cosplay event, and that's not my boat at all.
I would think he does it to hide, because he'd be able to hide behind the Wolverine mask, wouldn't he? Because he's very shy bloke in real life.
He's very a big comic fan, isn't he?
Oh, he's a massive nerd.
One of my favourite documentaries, I think it's Get a Life, I think it's called, is by William Shatner, when he spent an entire weekend at a Star Trek convention but dressed as an alien. So he was interacting with all the fans, and nobody knew they were talking to Captain Kirk, you know.
That's amazing.
He put it in one of his he's done about 4 or 5 autobiographies. But yeah, it was really interesting.
That's really cool. I like it when people do that. That's like a good one. So I'm just sorting out some of my trading cards. I was like, before we went live, I'd got all these trading cards out, and I was sorting them all out, and now they're just kind of all sprawled along the desk in front of me.
Well, I've got a really hot take for you.
Go on, Em.
So, Fantastic Four.
Yes.
The movie's coming out soon. Everyone's really excited for it. Obviously, Funko. Do you see what they did this week?
No.
They revealed all the photos for the new Funkos that are coming out.
Okay. And
they revealed Silver Surfer. Obviously, we know the Silver Surfer is going to be the female Silver Surfer in this one. It revealed Human Torch, and even though he goes fully on fire, apparently you can still see the Fantastic Four costume underneath. Interesting. Nice. The Thing, they released the Thing wearing his fedora and his coat, which is, we've seen that 1,000 times. That's okay. But they released Sue Storm with Franklin Richards, and Franklin Richards is a toddler, the tiny little pop at the side of it. It's not like a baby; it's like a toddler sat down. So will we see Franklin grow up in this movie?
You see, originally
sorry, go on.
No, carry on. No.
I was going to say, my hot take though is that I don't think these actors are sticking around. I think these are the Fantastic Four from their universe, and I think during the Secret Wars we'll be introduced to a new Fantastic Four that are from the 616.
Yeah.
I think they will all die. Because how cool would it be if we think Pedro Pascal is going to be Mr. Fantastic going forward, and then all of a sudden he gets sliced up by Wolverine or something, and then we have a really dramatic, emotional death scene. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, anyone can die then." And then you find out later on, actually, he's not going to be the real Fantastic. He's not going to be the Mr. Fantastic going forward. That was just another version.
I kind of hope not, because we've already had that, haven't we? Multiverse of Madness, where we're given Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. I mean, originally the plan was, or the idea was, that we're going to have Kang, and I was sure that we're going to get a timey-wimey muck around with things like the Black Panther's kid, and he would naturally become T'Challa and replace his dad, and that would tie into Franklin aging up, I guess, But yeah, interesting. Just jumping into the chat, guys, just to mention, I don't know how big you are on your comics, but Peter David, Terry's just saying Peter David's passed away. Massive Marvel writer. He created some great characters. Big Star Trek writer as well.
X Factor, didn't he?
He did X Factor. He created the Maestro for Hulk. Maestro, is that how you pronounce it? He did
Maestro.
He did some amazing books, absolutely amazing books. Lots of Star Trek books as well.
He wasn't very old either, was he? He was late 60s.
Yeah, but I think, like I say, he's had ill health for a long time. He's not been a well man. But a great, phenomenal writer.
Yeah, no, that's a shame. That is a shame. It is a shame when when people of significance, especially people that have kind of written books and inked and drew and stuff for things that have become iconic or fan favorites, it's always a massive loss. But yeah, it is a shame. Just jumping back to what you said there, Sorrell. I mean, it's Fuzzy Dunlop said that you do see her pregnant in a trailer, which, yes, okay, we do see that. We don't
know if she's gonna, because obviously if she's pregnant, out by the end of the film, we're expecting to have the child then and it be a little kid. You know what I mean? That's what like Funko's kind of revealed a little bit of a insider thing there, haven't they? Really?
Spoiler, yeah.
If it's genuine, I don't. It could be that Funko's just done that off their own back. You know what I mean? Just to put a Franklin Richards in there. It might be complete bollocks for all we know, but it's just cool to speculate that they've done it.
The other thing as well is obviously people are talking about like the X-Men and all that kind of stuff, but the whole Battle World theory, I think we talked about this last week about the universes colliding and they're basically kind of competing for who's gonna live out of the two universes and stuff. So the Fantastic Four theory could completely be possible.
The only thing with that is what we do know from all of the MCU movies is that they like to use the titles of famous comic arcs and then do very little with it other than have the title. So Secret Invasion was very different. Civil War was very different. All those kind of things. They've got the underarching theme. So we're kind of assuming, well, I'm assuming I know what Secret Wars is going to be about, but it might be just completely different.
I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed with Civil War that they obviously had cast Tom Holland, hadn't they, as Spider-Man, and he came in Civil War. I was like, what a missed opportunity to reveal the actor in the movie, similar to how the comic book reveals Peter Parker's face and stuff like that. Yeah, I was just like, surely someone's reading a comic book and going, hang on a second, guys. Like in the comics, they reveal his face, so why don't we reveal the actor in the movie? Everyone will be like, that's genius. How they miss things like that, I don't know. So yeah, you are right. It is.
The Franklin link that Sorrell's just mentioned there is really interesting because we do know, don't we, in the comics that Franklin's a mutant and his powers are infinite.
Ridiculous.
Almost. He's a reality bender, So that could be. I'm assuming it's an incursion event, but if you introduce Franklin in this movie, that could be how they're transported to our universe, or how they're, it could be anything really with him because he could rewrite reality as he wants.
Did you guys watch Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
So I think it's I think enough times now has passed that we can talk kind of spoilers. But the whole New Avengers reveal, I don't know whether it was like genius marketing or just a bit lame. Like the fact that they kind of went out like 2 days after and renamed everything as the New Avengers. But obviously the post-credit scene, we see the New Avengers, and we see that Fantastic Four ship kind of entering the atmosphere and stuff. But that could be anything, But I don't know about you, but I just don't feel that the post-credit scenes hit as hard as they used to.
I'm so used to them at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's got the impact anymore. And also, we're at the point where we know that there's quite a few of the post-credit scenes that just don't translate into anything. No. We've got Pip the Troll and Eros. Nothing's ever happened with that. We've got the Council of Kangs. Nothing's ever happened with that. So there are quite a few of them that
Hercules.
Happen. Yeah, Hercules. Yeah, and you just
I would love it if Doctor Doom in this movie just goes from world to world, just kills Hercules, kills Pip the Troll, just goes around just snapping necks.
Clean slate.
It'd be a way of clearing it up, wouldn't it? Though.
Yeah. I think that's essentially what they're going to aim to do though with this. I think that they are going to essentially if you haven't seen them survive, they haven't, kind of thing. So it kind of wipes the slate clean of everything. But yeah, there just seems to be so many loose ends. Like it's well put together, but there is so many loose ends that it's a bit difficult to follow. Did you guys catch the new Superman trailer though?
Yeah, incredible.
Like that I'm excited for.
Fuzzy's just saying in the chat there, we expect them now, regardless of what they do, they're never compared to the OG Thanos one. I think that's absolutely right. Nothing's had the same level of, I would say that one and the very first, the Nick Fury, entrance in Iron Man was just, breathtaking for comic fans, because I never expected to get that, Whereas now you go in expecting some kind of sizzle at the end, and more often than not, they're just a bit flat. I mean, did you see the original Avengers movie, the one of them eating shawarma at the end? It was like, what the hell is this? So
it's because they made a comment in it during the film, and it's saying we'll go for shawarma, so they just fulfill that little nugget.
But I think what Fuzzy said there and what you're saying, like those original Avengers ones, like the first few kind of films where even like the Hulk, where Tony Stark turned up, and do you know what I mean? And it was kind of leading towards them all coming together, because that was something so new, wasn't it? Like to have these standalone films that were then all going to link together in another film. It was just this unheard of kind of concept.
Nothing was more exciting than the day we saw Thanos stand up and do the whole, okay, I'll do it myself. It's like, because like for years we were like, is Thanos ever coming? Is he ever coming? It was just like an ongoing thing, wasn't it? And then you got that one where it's like, he stood up and started walking, grabbed the Infinity Gauntlet. It's like, oh, it's happening.
I think as well, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had like before Josh Brolin came in as Thanos, I think there was 2 other actors.
Yeah, there were a couple of actors playing Thanos, and then they were Josh Brolin at the end.
But no one ever really complained about that. It was kind of like, no one went, oh, that's a different Thanos to the last time. They were like, oh, it's Thanos again. Like, that was, but yeah, I agree. It's kind of like, it's become an expectation and it just doesn't land the same.
Chris Bell's right in the chat there. He's saying rather than a foretelling, they're now a temperature check.
Yeah.
And post credits like a toe in the water to see how people react. I think that's absolutely right. That's what it feels like now.
Well, that's quite a good explanation, because Kelsey Grammer has spoken recently. I don't know if you saw the interview, and they said about him coming back to Marvel, and basically someone, whoever it was, contacted him about doing that post-credit scene in the Marvels, and the reaction from it was so huge that he essentially got cast in the new Avengers film off the back of the popularity of that. And the actual film, the Marvels, didn't land very well, did it? But having Beast in that post-credit scene has essentially brought back a load of the OG X-Men. So
I might be one of the few here, but I've liked both Captain Marvel films. I thought Captain Marvel 2 was pretty good. I enjoyed the interaction. Sorrell's not a fan. I enjoyed the interaction between them all. It was canny.
I'm very much of the opinion, I've said this before, I'm just pleased that we live in an age where we've got it. Like, I grew up where having that kind of movie representation, you had like Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher, and you had like, Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk and stuff. So to be able to get all these kind of real, like much better comic book style movies and big budget movies and stuff, like I kind of enjoy everything to an extent. Like the Miss Marvel show, I loved. I absolutely loved. Absolutely loved it. I loved the historic kind of element to it, and the storytelling in kind of real life historic events and stuff, and I felt a bit let down by the films, because I thought that it jumped from such a good TV show to a mid-par kind of movie, but I didn't dislike it. Like,
just speaking of the Marvels movie, I don't know if you guys saw that Brie Larson's going to be at Liverpool Comic Con in November.
Is she?
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty big Hollywood name, I would have thought, to have it at one of the UK Comic Cons. I think she's charging £300 or something for a signature. If you want to get something signed from her.
Damn!
I'm not rushing. If she had Goose the cat with her, maybe. But do you know what I mean? Yeah, for just Brie.
Well, if the signature was on a cat, then maybe I'd think about it. If I was turning up to the Comic Con and coming away with a cat that had her signature, maybe, yeah.
The Geek Week does not endorse the abuse of animals. Just put
signing cats. Yeah.
To be fair though, like I don't know, like when it comes to signatures and things like that, like some of the prices of them are extortionate, like to get photos and signatures and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I don't think I'd ever pay a huge amount of money to get an actor to sign something.
I would.
Would you?
Yeah, it depends on the actor. I'm a big signature collector. I love a signed item. I've just paid £400 for it, not a fake one. Before anyone jumps in the chat, for a signed comic book by someone that I'm exceptionally excited to have bought. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I'm waiting for it to arrive. Until it arrives, it's not real. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah. See, I knew Wayne would be straight there. Look at him. Peter pays £500 for fakes. Two fakes. That's what I've bought.
Wow. But there is a lot of fake stuff going around. Like Ryan Ottley done a whole post about it, like the guy behind Invincible. But yeah, I don't know. Do you take photos of them signing it, or are you just happy to have the signature, or do you want some kind of proof that it's them that signed it?
I've learned my lesson over the last few weeks. I will normally only buy signed actors' books if they've already been graded and authenticated, or get them myself.
Yeah. I think that my problem is because there's no real kind of price scale of what people can charge. It's a real, like you'll go to some people and it'll be like 50 quid for a signature, and then you'll go to others and it'll be like 500 quid for a signature, and you're kind of like, wow, the difference there is phenomenal. And I don't know. I'm a bit. I like a signature on stuff, but the jury's out a little bit about how much it should cost and stuff like that. But I don't know. How did you find out that those are fakes that you picked up anyway? I haven't watched the full video yet.
So I bought a Christopher Reeve. First things first, go check out my channel and watch my videos.
Don't give away the story here. Go and check out Peter's channel and you'll be able to see that video and give him some top dollar.
I mean, basically, the bottom line is both of them were too good to be true, and I had no kind of control over myself, so bought them before I really looked into them. Well, that's with the first signed book. The art book looked genuine to me, and it's only recently come out that this particular eBay seller has sold tons of forged art on books, and unfortunately one of my pieces was one of them. So yeah, swines.
Yeah, and what I was doing is I was kind of given an opportunity to have a little bit of a trailer and a lead into your video. But
I see.
That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm always a little bit hesitant, and there's you see things like Stan Lee signatures, for example. Like everyone famously knows that he signs so much stuff that his signatures all over the place, but yet there are still fakes out there, and
when you see
so it does make me a little bit.
When you see that inside documentary about his final years as well, like they were just making him sign anything. Poor old man sat there with a stack of posters and things to sign. It's like, poor guy.
Yeah, and to be fair, have you got a Stan signature? You must have one, Pete.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Pete.
I've got 5 or 6 Stan Lee signatures.
Yeah, see, it's always something that I never got because I was supposed to go. He was at MCM about 15 years ago, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go, and one thing led to another, and I wasn't able to get a ticket that year. And then I always kind of said to myself, right, I'll get that signature at some point. And then obviously he passed, and then there was all the stuff about the fake signatures and stuff like that. And now it's kind of like, after seeing those documentaries, I almost now feel bad kind of chasing a signature. If that makes sense?
Yeah. I always wanted to meet him, but never did. But one of my most prized collection items, and it's one of these ones that you can't put a price in it because it's a one of one. But I've got a Stan Lee file copy, and basically what these are is books that he had in his personal library that he used to use for references when he was doing comics. So when he was writing stories, this is a Silver Surfer book I've got. So it's a Stan Lee signed file copy that was actually in his library. And like I say, one of one. So yeah, I absolutely love that. Just jump into the chat.
I'm about to say Adil's asked a question there for you, mate.
Yeah, Adil. Just a quick question. I asked watch your latest video. Thank you very much. And we're wondering, how does JSA authenticate a signature or a sketch? So they'll authenticate a signature, but they won't authenticate a sketch. So what they'll do is they've got experts who will review the signatures and just in the same way as Beckett's do, and they'll authenticate it based on that. But what you'd get if I sent in, for example, the book that I've got at the moment with all the Stan Lee and Jim Lee signatures, it would come back as authenticated signatures, but they wouldn't comment on the sketch. They would probably just say something like with a drone on the cover. They would never say that it was by Jim Lee, and it's not. So yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, nice one. I like the comments right now saying about I know a bloke called Stanley, if that counts. I love puzzles. I love puzzles. But you know, like I mean, talking about like signatures and like chasing signatures and stuff. Like Tim Curry has been at a lot of cons, horror cons and conventions recently, and I see people have had photos taken with him. He just doesn't look like he wants to be. He's in a wheelchair and he's got a lot of problems, hasn't he? And he just looks like he doesn't want to be there. You're like, I don't want that photo. I don't want to remember Tim Curry like that. I want to remember him as, you know, in the films, and I don't want to pay for his signature when is he there against his will? How could he know? It's like, it looks horrible.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for some of these old timers that are like doing it.
Same as the guy who played Darth Vader. Was it David?
Yeah,
Prowse?
Dave Prowse
Dave
got
Prowse,
pushed around by his family, didn't he? A little bit.
He looked really poorly when I saw him up in Newcastle.
Yeah.
But I guess the flip side to that is some of these guys are living on the characters.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's possibly the only way they're making money. I don't know. But you're absolutely right. It's a bit heartbreaking when you see some of these people and you think, oh God, they look like they should just be tucked up in bed at home, you know, enjoying the retirement years.
Rincewind has said, if that's a Discworld reference as well, I'm well impressed. But it says, I've never understood signatures on models or toys. At worst, it ruins the look of the model itself. I completely agree to the extent. Ironically, when I was talking to Steve Cardenas, the Red Power Ranger, and I asked him like about merchandise and what's his favorite kind of piece of merchandise out there and stuff, and he actually listed the Toy Battalion 1/6 scale figures as one of his favorites. Like, even though they're kind of not an official Power Ranger license, he said, because they're like a really nice replica of the movie costumes. And I was like, oh, I've actually got that Red Power Ranger at home. And he was like, no way, like, bring it up, I'll sign it. And I'll sign it. I was like, no, it's all right, I'm not back tomorrow. And so he took the mick out of me not coming back tomorrow. But he then said, I've only actually signed about 10 of those, like in his, like, in the time I've been doing signatures. So I was like, oh, okay. But I agree. I don't agree with signatures on models and toys if they're like window boxes and stuff. If it's like, and the reason I bring up the battalion, Toy Battalion boxes is because they are just black boxes with like a gloss kind of logo in and stuff like that. So to get a signature on the front of that would actually make it look nicer. But if it was like a Hasbro figure, for example, where it's the window box where you've got the figure behind and then you've got a squiggle across, I kind of agree. I'm a big fan of comics and trading cards being signed.
I've got two figure toys that I've got signed. One's a die-cast Batmobile signed by Burt Ward and Adam West, and that's signed in the box, so it's quite discreet. The only other thing I've got signed, which I absolutely adore, is a 1-to-1 scale Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, which is signed by Stan Lee and Chris Helmsworth. But other than that, I don't know that I wouldn't go and get, like, I don't collect pops, but I wouldn't get an action figure signed. I would always rather get a comic book signed, I think, personally.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that's one of the reasons why I got that Power Ranger book signed. And the funny thing is as well, and like, this is just for anyone that's like a Power Ranger fan. So these three were at Comic-Con, the black, red, and yellow. But obviously it was Zach, it wasn't Adam. And on the comic book, it's Adam. And I said to him, I was like, I know that's technically not you, but it's the only cover I've got where it's got yellow, black, and red on the front. And he was like, nah, that's cool, man, that's fine. So, yes, it's signed by Zach, the Black Power Ranger, but it's actually a picture of Adam.
Very cool. Just, you mentioned trading cards just before there, and it would be remiss of me not to say that we'll have a world-renowned artist watching at the moment. So, Comic Deal works for Topps. So he does Star Wars chase cards. So if you want to check him out, Comic Deal, please do pop your Instagram link in the chat if we can, for people to have a little look-see at his work. He does incredible stuff.
Amazing. You know what? I've got to give a shout out to Tops actually this week because that's a nice little like segue into Tops. Obviously, I've got some of the X-Men '97 finest cards, and I opened one of the packs and it was missing a card. So I was like, oh, so I just contacted them. I was like, look, I've opened this pack, showed them. I was like, I'm missing a card, and they sent me a replacement card, but it was a serial numbered refractor card. So I was like, nice. so I pulled a good card without pulling a card. So I was well chuffed with that. So yeah, Tops. I think that's one thing that their customer service is spot on. So,
sorry, Chris Bell. You said you weren't going to comment because you're drunk. Please don't put that one up, Jacob. Don't put that one up. About them being drunk, you would have had something gone for that Batmobile.
There we go. It's gone now. It's gone off the screen. If you missed it, you missed it. But there we go. Yeah, I don't know, but obviously the main theme of this week's show, because we try to theme each kind of show, and we've kind of put is modern toy collecting over. What was our thinking behind that as a title, just for people's understanding?
We're talking about the price, really, weren't we, a little while ago?
Yeah.
Sorrel, I think you're on mute, unless I've gone deaf.
Yeah, Sorrel has nothing to say on the subject. For the rest of the show, Sorrel will be communicating to us through the comment section.
Hello?
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah,
There he is.
Yeah. You went quiet for a second.
There. Whoa.
Odd.
No, it was just like DST have closed their doors. The Diamond Select are no more. I mean, the sad moment for that. I mean, Super 7 are really scaling back, and there's just everything. Like, do you see all the things about like Big Bad Toy Store are going to honor whatever prices are currently ordered, but future products from certain manufacturers are going up? Mattel have basically got out and basically said they'll be upping all of their prices to every country. Not, you know what I mean? It's everyone. It's madness right now. It's all a bit up in the air, isn't it?
And you know, and I think it's I mean, I don't want to get into politics, I guess, but you know, there's a lot about tariffs and things like that. Certainly with Mondo, I've just paid for the Mumra figure. Free shipping's gone on that, which we were getting free shipping from them, and they've clearly said the customers in the States are going to be paying a lot more for the figure because of the tariffs and all that. So I think that's going to have an impact certainly in the next year in terms of prices. I used to be of the impression, and I think I was wrong, that toys were just too expensive for kids and we're outpricing them. But I think that's because I was looking at the kind of toys that I want now. Yeah. So I was wanting big articulated things. Well, actually, kids don't want that. So I was in B&M Bargain because Sorrel's basically addicted us to blind bags. And they've got big sets of Marvel action figures where you get like 10 big chunky figures, and they're reasonably priced. So I guess the kids market is still there, I guess, isn't it?
So kids nowadays basically don't play with action figures. That is a thing of the 80s and 90s child. The modern child now, and it's been proven because the £5 market, the pocket toys market, blind bags, mystery toys, you know, Funko Bitties and that, they're all under the £5 price mark, and they are one of the most popular toys on the planet. Kids, I've seen kids with their families on a Saturday picking out Funko Pops. Yeah. Kids collect them as well. So, I mean, like, a lot of the kids that we're thinking of don't buy the same stuff anymore. It's a new world now, isn't it? There's a different type of collecting for kids now. And Pete, just to annoy you a little bit more, there's a Dino mix and match now.
I saw those on your channel. I need to pick some of them up.
You can build the dinos, and there's a rare one to chase. But worst of all, them stupid friggin' Make It Miniverse Jurassic World that I kept buying. I bought 4 of them, by the way, because there's secretly a little code on the top, and you can work out which ones you've got. So I managed to get the T-Rex, the Ankylosaurus, Dilophosaurus, yeah, that one. And I got another one. I can't remember which one I got. But basically, I got 4. And you see, you get a little egg, and you have to turn it upside down and take the bottom off, and then you insert like a bit of dye to make it look funky, and then you put glitter in, and then it says to shake it, right? So you shake it, and you're shaking it, and then you crack the egg open, and you look at it, and it's just a gloopy mess inside, and you can't even see the damn dinosaur. Like, what is that? So I've seen all over the internet that people are just moaning about these toys, and they're £10 a piece. So it's not like the
not
cheap.
cheap.
Most
Not
blind
cheap.
bags are about £5. These ones are £10 because you have to make them.
So what's the end product though? What do you end with? Just a little figurine of a dinosaur?
1 minute.
Just while Sorrell's getting that comics vibes, what do you think of about Hot Toys prices? It's really hard because probably as much like Jacob, I don't want to say addicted to them. I'll always
Oh, a
buy
world
them,
exclusive.
but the prices are ridiculous. I mean, if you're wanting an in-art figure, you're looking around 500 quid.
I think the problem with Hot Toys is that, yeah, I am the same. I love my 1/6 scale, but the third party, if we're going to group them as a, there's so many really good third party companies out there now that yes, Hot Toys have a lot of the licenses and will give you the key characters and the official kind of releases, but there are a lot of third party figures out there now where you can have that representation for kind of a retro Hot Toys price, should we say? And Hot Toys are just kind of putting there. But I've seen Facebook groups where people are like, let's boycott it. Let's boycott this. Don't pre-order this because this price is way too high. But yeah, it's.
I feel
prices.
sorry. Before you show with that, I guess I feel. I think I said on the show a little while ago. For me, as a 1/6 scale collector, we are coming into it's an expensive time, but a bit of a golden time because the 1/6 scale hobby has moved slightly away from purely film accurate figures and moving much more into comic book cartoon based figures. And for me, that's a dream come true because it means we get the cat. I mean, never thought I would get a 1/6 scale Thundercat or a He-Man. Do you know what I mean? And I'm getting that stuff now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sorrell.
Yeah, right. So you get a little incubator, right? And inside the little incubator, it's falling over. Inside the little incubator, you get a little egg. You get a little egg like this, right? And then inside the little egg is a dinosaur, and basically you have to put some dino DNA in the bottom. And that comes in a little Barbasol can, just like in the movie. How cool. And so you lift that off, ching, just like in the film. It's full of dino DNA. So you have to basically take the lid off and syringe some out and squirt it inside the dinosaur egg, right? Give it a shake and then crack the egg open. If you're careful with them, you can do what I've done and basically keep the egg intact and it just separates. So I've managed to keep it so it's a nice little keepsake. And then at the end of the process, you are left with one of these little dinos. You get a baby dinosaur. If you can even see it. But that's a Tyrannosaurus. A Triceratops.
So they're in like an amber,
like an embryo egg things. That's like the Tyrannosaurus. The best one's Baby Bumpy. He's the best, but he's upside down. Baby Bumpy. Oh.
So what's the stuff you've injected in meant to represent then?
It's a dye to make it look funky. So like one's blue, one's red, one's yellow. That's all you're doing. You're inserting a dye into water. It's because you've got to do something because it's the Make It miniverse. You're making the dinosaur. You are effectively an engineer at Biosyn.
I guess,
and you make the
my
dinos.
very simplistic brain, when you show them with them, sorry, I'll hold one up again. I'm kind of more excited about it being just a dinosaur trapped in amber. Do you know what I mean? Without the weird squirt of green dye or whatever it is.
Yeah, see, I'm a bit.
That's what I said on my video.
Yeah. I thought they were solid. I didn't realize they're like mini snow globes. Then basically,
the crap. I on the box they don't look anything like that. It is so misleading. The best part about the whole frigging thing was this stupid little Barbasol can. That was my favorite little bit.
I think I'm going to get one just for that to go with my Jurassic Park.
Well, then
collection.
you need to make sure you get the T-Rex because this only comes with the T-Rex.
Oh, right.
Okay.
All of them come with a different thing, but the Barbasol can only comes with the T-Rex.
Okay.
And are the other different things Jurassic Park related, or are they just random syringes and stuff?
Random syringes and all sorts of random crap. The Barbasol can is basically the rare one that you have to get, but there is codes on them, so you can get the T-Rex. If you Google, you'll be able to get all the codes. I can send you. But like I know, like number 11 was the Ankylosaurus. I think number 1 was the T-Rex. So you're just looking for a number 1 on the logo, basically. It's very easy to do. Yeah,
I want that Barbasol can. That's it. Just to go with my Jurassic Park collection, just that little Barbasol can, that'll do me.
You've got the 3-inch Jurassic Park figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take out the egg. Take out that stupid bit, and just leave it like that on the shelf, and stand them all around it. Or you're good enough at doing stuff like this. You could make a small little egg thing to scale on a little platform inside, and that is basically the incubator from the movie. You could even leave it open like that and have them all like inside.
Put your little eggs in.
Yeah,
Put some
you could
Cadbury's
do that
mini eggs
easy
in.
peasy.
Put some Cadbury's mini eggs in, and then you could just pick one up.
Oh, that's a good idea. Don't even tempt me.
Yeah, see the chat saying Fuzzy says kids would use the dye for graffiti up here in Comic Deal. Saying around my way, kids already play with real syringes.
There you go.
I don't think people in the chat are particularly impressed with them, Sorrel.
The rubbish, mate. I'm not impressed with them. I think they're awful. I've said that on my video. I said MJ have missed. They had such a big license there with Jurassic Park, and the idea of making dinosaurs, such a cool concept. They just missed the mark completely.
I think, to be honest, though,
I mean, like, when you look at sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say the best franchise that I think those Make It Minis have paired with is Harry Potter.
Yes.
Because obviously everyone being a different potion and all the little kind of little setups and that works. But the dinosaurs,
I'm not sure if you can see it, but the inside the Dilophosaurus, there's like glitter, and you have to insert the glitter as well. And I stopped using the glitter because there's glitter for all of them. I stopped using the glitter after this one because it was just making a clumpy, horrible mess inside the thing. So I just literally added the dye to the water, and it looked so much clearer and better.
Could you crack those open and get the little figures out?
You could, yeah. You could if you wanted to. I'm not sure if you'd ruin the little plastic egg, but it'd be cool to have the little baby dino.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I thought they were going to be better than that.
Me too. That's why I bought 4 of them. I should have opened the first one before I bought the other 3. But we live and we learn.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
You just mentioning there, Sorrel, that you were able to work out which one's which by the number on the thingy.
I'm back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, when I was in the toy shop looking for blind bags, I noticed someone was going around with his phone and he was scanning all the blind bags. What's that all about? Is that?
I'm not sure about the scanning, and it might have been the Lego. So
it was Lego, yeah, it was little Lego mini pack things.
Yeah, so the Lego minifigs have got QR codes on the bottom, and you can scan the QR code and work out what's in the box. Basically, there's an app called the Minifig Finder. It's a third-party app. It's not by Lego, and you just scan the Lego boxes, and you can tell exactly which figure's inside, so you can get the one you want.
Okay.
But the people go around with mini scales, little tiny scales, because blind bags, obviously, each character's a different weight because of the different amounts of plastic. So people have been working out how to get like Battle Beast because he's the heaviest in the set. So they take a tiny scale with them to B&M and they sit and weigh them all. Yeah. I've still not got him yet. I've got the robot. I've got 2 of the robots. That's why I messaged you and said I've got you a robot.
Yeah, I mean these are a new, and Fuzzy and people in the chat will be appalled with us, but these are a bit of a new, and not just these. I mean I've got those and then I've got these ones now. And then in Fuzzy, look away, Fuzzy, look away.
Oh no!
I got 3 of these because they were cheap.
Stitch, yeah.
$2.99 for the blind bags.
Yeah, they're the series 2 ones, I believe. Do they come in the pineapple or the little blue head?
Little blue head.
Little blue head is series 1. Then the pineapple series 2, I believe.
Yeah,
they did like
cool.
a burger box one as well. That was fun.
But yeah, pretty cool. You've been to see Lilo and Stitch, haven't you?
I have.
It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's the best of the live action remakes. Definitely the best one.
I might go and see it tomorrow. We went to see Mission Impossible. Are you a Mission Impossible man?
Not really. I saw the first one. I don't think I've seen any of the sequels yet.
Yeah. And let one know in the chat if any of you guys have seen Mission Impossible. I went in absolutely hyper because I do love a bit of Mission. I love Tom Cruise in terms of his acting. He's a bit weird, but in terms of being a film star, I love his acting. But yeah, this film just fell flat in its arse for me. It was not good at all.
Well, it was the Mission Stitch weekend, and you know that Stitch has outsold Mission Impossible so far in the UK.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Families went out in force this weekend, and Disney did a very smart thing of tweeting out saying, "Take a Stitch with you." Yeah. So kids are taking selfies and photos with the parents and that, holding the little Stitches in the theaters. Yeah. And obviously Cineworld and all the other theater chains had popcorn buckets, sipper cups. They were selling little mini plushies. They had all sorts of merch in Cineworld for Stitch.
We've got a few people in the chat just commenting here. Chris is saying I've changed, picking up these things.
Fuzzy's saying you sold your soul for clicks.
Soul for clicks. So, we've got Jenko. Nice to see Jenko. I've seen it. Triple G. Very disappointing. Yeah, I don't know. There was so much exposition, and I just felt the dialogue was really, really ropey. I don't know. I hope it's not the last one because I would like to see more. Shelley saying she's loved Mission Impossible. Oh, I'm pleased for you, Shelley. I am pleased for you. Sorrel. Whilst we're just killing time, I guess, until Jacob comes back. Doctor Who. Did you see Doctor Who this week?
Yeah. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was
very weird, but
very weird. Very weird. I was struggling to understand what was going on for some of it, but yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
With Doctor Who, what I don't like is from episode to episode, the last episode ended with them in a different place, time and location, and then suddenly this one starts and it's like suburban England and it's weird. It's like they don't do a transition to break you in; they just throw you in at the deep end.
Yeah, it was.
There's no exposition at all with that.
A bit odd, but I did enjoy it. I have to say, I did enjoy it. I've really liked this last season, and if you haven't watched the latest episode yet, don't want to spoil it for people, but you get a very brief kind of revisit to a character I absolutely loved. On a TV screen. So I'm pleased to see them back in some way, and that's a subplot we've got to pick up at some point, surely.
Yeah, there's been his tenure. He's had so many deep cut characters reappear.
Yes,
from previous Doctor Who's. It's quite cool how they've done a lot of these deep cutty ones. I'm quite enjoying them. A lot of Doctor Who lore.
Jenko was saying, I'm pretty sure they said that the final Mission Impossible. If it is, it's gone out with a whimper. Yeah, I did read something saying that, I've forgotten the actor's name. Tom Cruise has said if it's going to continue, you would only let it continue with the guy who was in Maverick, and then he was in Twisters. If anybody's seen the new Twisters movie, can't remember what the chap's name is. I think he was pipped to play Captain America or something at one point. Very good actor, but I can't remember what he's called. Fuzzy, I've never heard of Stitch until one day it just appeared and everyone seemed to love it already. I've never heard of it. I've never seen the Disney movie. I know you have, Sorrel. You're a big fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's you glitching on my computer playing up.
I think you're glitching for me, but maybe it's me that's glitching for you. Yeah. Nice to see you, Jack. Hope you're well. John, Doctor Who was like WandaVision. Yeah, it absolutely was. It was a strange kind of throwback, weird episode, wasn't it?
Very weird.
I'm not sure what I think of this comments on screen, mind. I don't really know if that's doing anything for it.
I'm back.
You're back. Good.
Did you just go and make a coffee?
No.
That's what that looked like. You sat down and went, evening.
That's right, Joshy. Sorry, that's right. Glenn Powell. That's who he said. Yeah, thank you for that, Glenn.
Yeah.
Good actor.
So, caught the end there. You were talking about a Stitch, and Dunlop said that I never heard of Stitch until one day. But I got to kind of argue that because I don't know if it's just around my way, but there's kids that are into Stitch that have never even seen the movie. Because Stitch is in supermarkets and everything. Like it's one of them characters that's on a lot of merch. I suppose if you weren't looking for the character, you wouldn't see it. But there's whole kind of groups of kids that are into Stitch that have never even seen the movie.
Yeah, I've not seen the movie.
Well, it came out in 2002, so there's a lot of. I mean, like my brother was tiny when I took him to see that, and I was in my teenage years, very young. So I mean, it's an old Disney movie now by that standards. Like they've changed a lot in the film because they had to, just by modern standards. I mean, you can't have Lilo climbing in a dishwasher anymore and things like that. It's just unsafe. But I mean, back in the 90s, it was fine.
Yeah. I'll probably go and see. I don't need to have seen the animated movie, do I?
No.
To see the...
No. It's a complete retelling, but it still has heart in it. It still has heart in it, and it's a good story. It's fun. And there's the two actors are in it. You've got Tia Carey and Jason Scott Lee, because they were the voices of the characters in the original film. So they put them in the movie as Easter eggs, and they're kind of in it a little bit. It's kind of cool to see them. But Tia Carey, she's gotten old, and it made me feel really old, because I remember Wayne's World and thinking she's amazing, and then now I've seen her in that, and I'm like, she's a grandma.
Tell you what I did watch the other day. Just I'm sure Sorrel will have seen it already. If you've seen it yet, Jacob, the new Fear Street,
Prom Queen.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
good fun. Very
cheesy.
It does what it's meant to do. It's a cheesy slasher set in a period of time. It was fun. Yeah.
It was a kid's book in the 80s. It was a precursor to Goosebumps. It was Fear Street. So I mean, it's written by R.L. Stein, so it's gonna be cheese. But I like that. I like that feel to the movies when they feel very nostalgic and oldie. I love it.
Yeah. Jenko T just said there, have you seen the Hot Toys Stitch? Just a crossover. Like that's a really good 1/6 scale. And it kind of works similar to the kind of Grogu Grogu Hot Toys, because it's not kind of 1/1 scale as such, but it's big enough that it could go on your shelf and like the baby Groot we had, like the Grogu. Like I quite like those smaller characters that Hot Toys have done because they're a nice representation. I mean, I won't be picking it up, but it's very nice all the same.
It is. I mean, and to be fair, it's a reasonable price from what I've seen. It's about
160,
I think.
What the Hot Toy Stitch?
Yeah, the Hot Toy Stitch. Yeah.
Which one did I see? There was one that was like 160.
Yeah.
No, that won't be Hot Toys. Hot Toys would be like double that.
Yeah.
But it sold out instantly, didn't it? It sold out literally instantly.
I think so. Yeah. It's been very, very popular.
Just quickly, while we're talking movies and horror films and stuff, did you also see that there was a screening of Final Destination and the cinema roof fell down?
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's like saying something, isn't it?
I mean, but if that happened, horrendous, tragic. I'm not saying it's not, but if you sat in the back row and you see that, part of you is probably thinking, is that some kind of
Not publicity stunt.
Stunt, or is that something the cinema's done or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's mad. Jenko said 205. There we go.
All right. Okay.
So not too bad. Not too bad. It
40X
does look
is getting better. Wayne's comment. 40X is getting better. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I was just when I saw it, I was like, "That's insane!" Like that.
Whatever you see,
all the movies.
I think my thing's glitching.
But out of all the things to happen in a movie theater, that'd literally be like there being a serial killer during a Scream showing, like, or a clown in It or something. Do you know what I mean? Like that's an insane coincidence.
The 4DX showings, because a lot of Cine Worlds are redoing some old films. If you ever go and see Jurassic Park in 4DX, take a friggin' umbrella with you. You get.
I'm not surprised.
Well, you get rain effects, right? So it's like you get a water cannon sprayed at you, like when you can see 3D shows at Disney and stuff. They're trying to recreate those kind of things. And you sat there. There's a wind machine every time a dinosaur moves past, and then all of a sudden you get sprayed, right? But basically, during that scene where the T-Rex is and he puts his can on top of the car and stuff, and it's filling up, that whole bit. You're just getting wet for like 10 minutes straight. You're just getting wet. It's stupid. Yeah. And then the bit that made me jump, the Dilophosaurus with Dennis Nedry when it spits at him, when that projectile water hit my face at the same time he spat on screen, I crap myself.
That's mad. See, I don't like all that with a movie. Like it just kind of. It feels too much like a ride than it does a movie. Like I like to be able to just sit there and enjoy the movie.
Every time the T-Rex come on screen, your chest starts going like
that. Yeah.
I think I'm with you, Jacob. I think we've tried those kind of the vibrating seats and all that kind of stuff, and it's fun for about the first 10 minutes. Then I just switch it off because it's getting on my nerves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bit like 3D. You don't see a lot of 3D movies now, do you? With the glasses.
Stitch is in 3D if you want to see a 3D one, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a 3D film now for about 8 years. I'm not into it.
No.
No, actually, tell a lie. I think the last 3D film I saw was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And that was because the only showing I could get to was a 3D version.
Jenko's just saying there, do you remember that? Oh, I've got the comments up.
I do
you remember the shootings during Dark Knight? Yeah, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. That's a clown in a cornfield. I love the trailer for that. I haven't seen it out at cinemas yet.
No, it's not hit the UK for whatever reason.
No. But the trailer looked amazing.
I'm not sure if it might be on like Shudder or something or Amazon, but it's not been out on DVD or anything yet because I ain't seen it. And I go and I buy all the DVDs.
Oh, yeah. Re-release of Revenge of the Sith in 4DX. The first space battle opening sequence was brutal.
Buying.
I never got to see the re-release. Did you guys go and see the re-release?
No.
No, me neither.
I try not to see old films at the cinema because I've got them all on DVD and I hate the fact that I'm paying like $12.99 to see a film that's like 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Winds me up.
The only film that I saw as a re-release in the theater was Nightmare Before Christmas on the 30th anniversary, I think it was. And it was literally in the cinema for one day. And my youngest son, who's 6 now, is obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas. And obviously that was long before he was born. So being able to take him to the cinema to see it, even though we watched it near enough every day on the telly, to be able to go to the cinema and watch that for me was a big one. But I wouldn't like the Star Wars, much as I love the Star Wars films. It doesn't feel like yesterday that I saw them at the cinema. So it's kind of lost a little bit on me to kind of go there again. Fuzzy said there as well, there we go, about the special viewings of Superman 4 days before. I didn't know whether this was correct or not, because I did see all the posts.
I saw
but
it, yeah. I think it's crazy. I think
is there a what's there's got to be a paywall for that? And
there will be.
Yeah.
What, is that the new Superman James Gunn film?
Yeah.
You watch it at home instead of going to the cinema.
Yeah.
You pay 20 quid for privilege, though.
Or something. Yeah, you'll pay through the nose for it. But as Fuzzy says, that's going to be horrendous for spoilers because it's going to be all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, like, people filming their own television, like, it won't just be like worded spoilers, and it will be like videos and clips and stuff that people are filming on their phone.
There'll be people streaming it on TikTok because they always do. They always do it, don't they?
Fuzzy's saying it's in official cinemas, not at home. So it's a special event for fans.
Okay.
Ooh, Fuzzy, I wonder how I get myself on that list then. I wouldn't mind seeing it 4 days early.
Yeah.
I wonder what you've got to do to get onto that.
You know what? I'm just looking forward to it coming out. I'm not even bothered about kind of trying to see it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm booking. It sounds totally nerdy, but I'm booking the day off work so I can get to it as soon as possible because I hate spoilers. I hate going in, and also if I'm brutally honest, it's so I can try and get there as early in the day when there's as less people in the cinema as possible because I'm finding I get extremely grumpy with noise and things.
Did you guys watch the trailer for the new Jurassic Park or the new Jurassic World even Rebirth?
I haven't seen the new one that's just come out.
When did the new one come out?
About 4 days ago. It's the longest trailer. It basically shows you half the film.
Yeah.
It looks great, that film. I'm well excited.
I hope so, because I have to say the first trailer did nothing for us.
No, the first trailer was just a sizzle reel. This is like the one that gives you the story and everything. And there's a lot of. It seems like this is an island of dinosaurs that have all been genetically altered by the company. So the company that was making Jurassic World and the Indo-Rex, or whatever you called it, from the first Jurassic World. It's basically like an island where all these dinosaurs that have been genetically engineered have been released. And they're kind of just roaming free. So like there's like the big long-necked dinosaur, and it's got like a ridiculous long tail from another dinosaur. And the big baddie dinosaur in this one's like a T-Rex, but with like the head of what's that dinosaur that can charge at things head first? It's like a T-Rex with that like armor head. Very weird looking, but it looks cool. I mean, I showed the trailer to my dad, and even my mum was like, "Oh, I'll go see that. That looks cool." So like, it'll be a family outing.
The Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise now is just it's just what it is, right? And I think if you like dinosaur movies and you'll like it, but I'm not expecting any kind of groundbreaking story.
Oh, no, God, no.
It's not going to be
a dinosaur movie.
I still think they dropped the ball horrendously with those movies in terms of, I can't remember which one. I've seen them all, but they all blend into one. But whatever the Chris Pratt one was, where by the end of it, the dinosaurs were released into the general kind of populace of the world, and they were roaming the streets. The next film, for me, should have been humans trying to survive in this new world with dinosaurs just out in the open. And it kind of touched on that a little bit, and you saw it at the seaside
but
or
not
something,
enough.
and then just nothing. It was like, well, that's what I wanted to see. Almost Planet of the Apes-esque, Like the dinosaurs are now taking over and how's humanity.
Yeah, the dinosaurs have been breeding in the wild, but the thing is they can't breed because they're all female. That was the problem. And they only released a bunch that was in that house at the end. So it was only like a handful. So there will be some random dinos in some areas, but not like to that extent. But it would have been cool to get that concept.
Yeah, but that's kind of where the animation went, wasn't it? The Chaos Theory animation. So if you're a fan of Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, which is the follow-up kind of series, Chaos Theory took place after that movie. So the dinosaurs were in the world with people, and and it kind of touches on that. So there's like factions of the government that kind of have to hunt them down and all this kind of stuff. So it kind of worked, but I agree they should have gone full Planet of the Apes and just made it.
Am I right in thinking, because there's so much noise about Jurassic Park and whatnot, that the next film they're going to do after this one is kind of going back to the original source material and making it more
They're rebooting it.
Yeah, so basically Jurassic World will continue on as its own franchise. Right. They will be continuing with Chris Pratt and the current timeline with, the characters we've known and loved for years. There's going to be a separate film going back called Jurassic Park, and it's going to be closer to the book rather than the original movie. It's a new retelling of the book.
And I really hope that
it's darker, isn't it?
Yeah, supposedly they're going to be giving it a harder rating than the current run, because the idea is the current run is your family movie. The new one's going to be like for adults and like a proper decent.
I really hope that they just make it a standalone movie. That it's just a standalone movie. I know there was more than one book, but Jurassic Park in itself was a book.
I hope they books, weren't there?
Yeah, Lost
World, and just the original Jurassic Park. There were only two, weren't there?
No, but even that's an opportunity for a sequel, and we don't need another Lost World. Like, I hope they just go and just make the original book, make it dark, like you said, and just kind of make it that standalone film. So you've got your franchise going on with Jurassic World. Just make this a reboot for long-time fans, for new fans, and just make it a little bit darker.
But Pete, I've mentioned it before on the channel, but there's going to be a game coming out, a video game, and it's set during the time of Jurassic Park 1. So you know the ending scene where they're all on the helicopter flying away.
Yes, yeah.
You play as a young scientist girl who wakes up and sees that helicopter flying overhead. She realizes she's the last human on the island, and she's got to escape basically, and all the dinos are loose. But you see things from the film, like you find Dennis Nedry's body and his jeep and everything, and then you're running away from that dinosaur, the Dilophosaurus or whatever, the Dilophosaurus. You run away from that thing, and it just looks awesome.
That sounds very cool. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. Like I like my dinosaurs. But even that, like, we're talking toys. They never really hit the mark with it. That there's like Mattel touched on obviously the Amber collection, which was your 6-inch figures and based on Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and your Velociraptors. There's other companies out there that have done the dinosaurs. There's a huge kind of children's toy line, but they never really hit the collector market. They
could sell more to the kids than can the collectors. That's the thing. The kids one. Have you seen how many dinosaur Smiths have? It takes up half an aisle in mine.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. It's stupid amount. I mean, we've got hundreds of things.
Wave 1 of Rebirth comes out tomorrow. Wave 2 is in July. And then the final one is in August after the film comes out, because that'll have all the spoiler content. But basically, the first wave, there's going to be 3 waves of stuff. The first wave comes out tomorrow. The big Mosasaurus and the big T-Rex that you've seen in the new trailer, that all comes out tomorrow. The new Mosasaurus as well, it's about £70. It's massive.
Nice.
Because Smiths put them up a day early, because you could see them all on the website, and then they took them all down.
Oh, really? Smiths tend to do that, though. Let's be fair. They are a little bit naughty. Alex there saying that they love the original trilogy. Newer movies are family based. The toys are the reasons. This license keep going. Yeah, you're true. You're right there.
It makes good money as well, doesn't it? I mean, the franchise is making good money, but
I really enjoyed the computer game. Did you guys ever play the was it Evolution, the original computer game where you like basically build the park?
Yeah.
I loved that. It came out on the PS4 and I sat for hours building
that
park,
one.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I must have fallen asleep in front of the computer because I woke up about an hour later and hours and hours and hours of work was just destroyed because chaos. And I wasn't awake to like sort out my security and stuff, so the dinosaurs just took it over. But yeah,
we've still got Oculus, the 3D headset things.
Yeah.
There's a Jurassic World or Jurassic Park game on that, which is phenomenal. You don't do much with it, but it's kind of you walk around the park and you see the animals, and yeah, it was great.
That's insane. Jenko saying Jurassic Park 3 is underrated.
Which one's that? Then I get lost off.
The one with the kid with the dinosaur pee in a jar.
Sam is when Sam Neill came back. Sam Neill. Alan Grant basically
And
came back.
they're all in a cage at the end, getting drowned by a Spinosaurus, and he's shouting to that blonde from first film, going, "Remember, remember." Stupid.
Yeah, it's the one with the satellite phone there.
The worst one.
Yeah,
And the kid
I'll tell you
recognizes
what.
his dad's ringtone. How modern's that?
I thoroughly enjoyed the Chris Pratt one with the is it the Dominiraptor, the white one?
Dominus Rex.
Yeah,
Dominus
because it
Rex,
felt like
yeah.
a horror film. Do you know, it's kind of chasing the kid at the end, and it's on the glass roof and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cracking movie. Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. And it was something different as well, wasn't it? But no, I really enjoyed the original trilogy. I enjoyed them all. I love a dinosaur film. Like, yeah, I love them all.
When Jurassic World came out, they hit the nail on the head with there was a line in it that was something like, once upon a time, you used to be able to capture kids' imaginations just with a dinosaur. Now you need, bioengineered, enhanced dinosaurs. And it's true, because like when the first Jurassic Park came out, that was groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
So cool to see those dinos on the big screen, the way they did them in practical effects as well. And then obviously by the modern standards, they're all just CGI monster crap, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But just to go back to Rebirth, I'm not expecting anything major from it. It's not going to be anything crazy, but as our good friend Ryan would say, it's just smashy dino fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping this kind of gives because it's the way I see it is with the Jurassic Park films, you had like the original trilogy, and then by the third one it was getting a bit stale. And then you had the Jurassic World, which kind of completely flipped on its head with, like you say, the Indominus Rex and everything. And by the third one, it got a little bit stale. And now you've got Rebirth, which is kind of coming out. So it's kind of that cycle of this should hopefully be something new that gets everyone really excited again. And then if they do a couple of sequels, it will kind of burn out a little bit. So yeah, I'm hoping for good things. And I did see someone earlier in the comments saying about that they've got a really good cast, which they have. So the cast again, like, should make it a good film. I think the sad thing about the third Jurassic World is that's when they kind of brought in the original cast again, didn't they? They brought back the original cast, and it was this weird kind of crossover that didn't really make any sense. And it was like, okay, cool. I think, like, yeah. Comic Deal said there as well, the human cloning storyline, because that was a big thing, wasn't it? It was a big rumor. No, there's a big rumor that's what they were, that's the direction it was going to go. And then they dropped off, didn't they? They
didn't really go. It was that little girl, wasn't it? She was the clone. Yeah, she was she was the clone of the girl that died, his daughter. And she thought she was his granddaughter. It was weird. They didn't really progress that storyline, did they? After that movie, it kind of just sizzled down. She went to go live with Chris Pratt and his missus, didn't they? And that were it. It just sizzled out.
The other storyline as well is that there was supposedly a big rumor about them weaponizing dinosaurs, and that they were going to be. It was very much like Dino Riders. Do you remember that? Like the old school.
Is it a Jurassic World where Vincent D'Onofrio basically steals a load of velociraptors and then just flies off and you don't hear of him again?
No. I would really like to see a Dino Riders movie. That would be quite epic. Like,
I never got into Dino Riders that much as a kid, but I like the aesthetic of it. I mean, what's not like? Do you know what I mean?
It's one of them toy lines that I've kind of wanted to go back and collect, but they look too old now for me. And I loved them as a kid, but I'd rather spend my money on something that looks a little bit better than something that just hits a nostalgic vibe, if that makes sense.
See, I'm the exact opposite. Well, am I the exact opposite? Because I go for my hot toys. I'm very happy to have a nostalgic kind of crappy looking old figure, you know.
Don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of like retro and vintagey stuff in my collection, but like the Dino Riders figures hold a good price. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I can warrant spending on those when I could spend it on something else.
I know what you mean.
Comic Deals come back in and said, no, we need Cadillac and Dinosaurs movie. Do you remember that arcade game?
Yeah, I love that. Game.
That was wicked. I went to a I went to a I think it was Father's Day last year. My wife booked it up, and me and the kids and my wife went to this like arcade retro pinball arcade place, and basically you went in, you had however many hours in there, and it was all free play. So we're playing on the pinball machines, and then there was a whole section of arcade machines, and there was the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs game. And I sat down and started playing it. And my daughter, my eldest daughter, who's like 14, sat down with me, and we sat there and played it to completion. Because it was free play, we could literally keep going, played it to completion. And then at the end, she was like, she's loving it. And then she was like, "Oh, is that it?" And I was like, "Yeah," because it kind of just ends.
Yeah, it just ends.
And I saw a couple of the figures, the toys, the Cadillac and Dinosaur toys in Nerdbase in Battlesbridge, but the price on those were ridiculous as well. And I was like, nah, like they were like rubbish toys when I was a kid. Like, I'm not spending that. Like, I think that's a thing for me as well. See, a thing for me when it comes to buying retro toys is that if they were a cheap toy to buy when I was a kid, I resent paying a lot of money for them now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I get fixated on, I'll try and buy them only if they've got all the accessories and things, and sometimes it's impossible. I was looking at you guys familiar with Brave Star?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's cybernetic horse 3030.
3030, yeah.
Yeah, and Sarah Jane. I was looking at getting an original one of them. It's about 120 quid. And there was bits missing from it, and I thought, I cannot justify over £100 for a plastic horse that's not complete. So I stepped away from it.
Ramen Toys did a modern 6-inch. Yeah, did you see it? The Marshall? Yeah. Just for me, it wasn't accurate enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. See, I love all those kind of 80s, like Brave Star, Centurions. Like I want all of that stuff to come back and have a bit of a revival. But there's one as well. Do you guys ever remember Pirates of Darkwater?
Yes. Yeah.
Why has that not been made into a modern movie? Like, why have they not made? Like, why have they not? It's such a good kind of concept. Like, they could do something really good with that as a modern movie. But yeah,
I've been to just trying to find it to show you. I've been to a Comic Con today, and I've not read this yet. I think Fuzzy might have read it. Fuzzy's in the chat, I think. Let us know. But just speaking of nostalgia and stuff coming back, you guys read this one?
Captain Planet.
Yeah.
I haven't read that one, but
right. Oh God, this is where I do sound like a crazy old man shaking his fist at the sky kind of thing. They've did it with Thundercats, right? They brought Thundercats back. I got extremely excited, and then they gave Tiger a mustache, and I just lost the plot. It was like, what the hell are you doing? Snarf wasn't Snarf. All okay, fair enough. And then you get Captain Planet. That's not Captain Planet. What's going on with why do they redesign classic characters? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks anyway.
Captain Planet looks like a.
He looks like somebody he looks like someone that's gone to Comic-Con as Captain Planet, and because he's already got a beard, he thought, well, if I dye my beard green, then I'm still Captain Planet. Right.
But Dynamite at the moment, if you're into your nostalgia, Dynamite are the place to look. They've got some great books out. I think they're doing what you call them, Space Ghost. They've got Thundercats. They've got Captain
Wacky
Planet,
Racers.
Wacky Racers. They've got
Electra. Electra.
There's all kinds of nostalgia.
Not Electra. Elvira. Sorry,
Elvira. What was the other one? I was thinking Thingoids, something oids, Herculoids. Herculoids. They've got all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I saw this today. Thought I'd pick it up and give it a go and just see what's like. But yeah, bearded Captain Planet. I'm not so keen.
Did you not see the Wacky Races one that I showed you? When we watched it, it's like they've over sexualized everything about it. Like Penelope Pitstop's like a pin-up model.
I'm all there for a over sexualized Penelope Pitstop. I have to say.
Oh dear.
Silverhawks, that's what I was thinking, Fuzzy. Thank you. Silverhawks was the one I had in my mind. Yeah, they're doing a Silverhawks comic.
Yeah, Johnny Quest as well. They're doing Johnny Quest. There's some
another
good ones.
Another fan of Pirates Darkwater there. Yes, and actually give it an ending. Yes, one of them like famous kind of drop-offs that just never really close. Maybe that's why I'm hanging on to it so much, because I just kind of want a conclusion, not a proper conclusion.
Well, it's all right, because if you just wait another couple of years, Disney have finally negotiated with Johnny Depp to come back as Jack Sparrow for one more time. So you can have another floppy Pirates movie.
I'm all for it.
It's not the same.
No, it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be crap.
Well, you know what?
Pirates of Darkwater is more like
a bit Johnny Depp, me.
I do as well. But Pirates of Darkwater is more like a Jason and the Argonauts meets Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like a mixture of mythical creatures and pirate. It just worked. Yeah, I'm not bothered about Johnny Depp coming back. You know,
I want. Do you know what? Do you know why I want him to come back? And everyone's got their own views. I need him to have a bit of a redemption arc in terms of his career and life, and do you know what I mean? Jenko saying Triple J, thanks to Captain Planet theme stuck in my head. This is the thing, but and I know I'm biased, but the cartoons of my era had the best theme tunes. I mean, you know, Ulysses. Do you guys remember Ulysses 31?
Mm-hmm.
Ulysses, superb. Defenders of the Earth theme tune written by Stan Lee. That's one of the best theme tunes ever. Absolutely love that. Just classics.
But I think that's why. I think that's one of the reasons why Power Rangers kind of landed the way it did, because like Power Rangers was one of them kind of last shows that had the epic intros. Do you know what I mean? That became a thing of themselves. You need some. But even like we're talking about like modern toy collecting, but even like modern cartoons aren't the same. Like it's, you know, with the kind of everything available at once, they've just changed it.
They've just brought back Barney, and now he's CGI. They've just brought back Barney for a new generation, but he's no longer a dude in a suit. It's a CGI dinosaur. There's no little kids singing and dancing anymore. It's just a CGI dinosaur teaching kids how to spell. And have you seen what they're going to do to Sesame Street at Netflix? Have you seen some of the new stylized Bert and Ernie's?
No.
It looks scary. I'm not a fan. They're changing Sesame Street. Which
are they puppets still, or are they CGI?
I want to say the puppets, but in this day and age, it could just be AI CGI that makes them look like puppets. I'm not even sure if it's Henson puppeteering anymore, which is a shame.
Leave well alone. Like, there's certain things you don't change.
If they get rid of Rocco the Rock, I riot.
Yeah.
Rocco's a rock.
Yeah.
Galaxy Rangers. That was classic as well. Galaxy Rangers.
What is that? What is that?
What was?
Never saw Galaxy Rangers.
What
sounds like a rip off of Power Rangers.
There was a cartoon in like the. There was a cartoon in like the early 90s, and it was about. It all took place like on the internet or in the computer. I'm sure Tim Curry was in that actually, and they're like flying around the bedroom on like floppy disks and stuff, and then they go into the computer, and then when they went into the computer, it's all like computerized and stuff. Oh, what was that?
Reboot. Reboot. I don't remember that intro to it. Reboot's the one that I never really got into, to be honest. But I don't remember that intro.
I don't remember the storyline. I just remember the style of the characters, and it was like one of the first CGI television series. And
I'm googling it now.
I thought it was Reboot. Yeah.
Mask has a classic theme tune.
Hang on.
Absolutely love the Mask theme tune.
He's going to make
now Mask. Another coffee. Mask is a series that absolutely deserves some kind of revival. That was my prediction with how I thought the Transformers movies were going to go. I thought we'd get Transformers, you know, at end of Beast Wars, we got the introduction of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And then I thought G.I. Joe wouldn't have the tech to take on the Transformers, so then that would lead into like a Mask movie with the G.I. Joe using the Mask vehicles and things. But I loved Mask. They were superb action figures, superb toy line. MC Hammer, take me shoes. Yeah. Didn't he become a preacher? I think he was a religious guy by the end, wasn't he?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a preacher. Reboot did so many secret adult parodies that slipped so many references. I remember seeing it. Am I right in thinking that was the guy with the blue face and stuff?
Yeah. And the evil villain in it was like a woman who looked like a dominatrix.
That's yeah.
I like how that is the reference that got you.
That clicked. Yeah,
that's the one.
Good times. Yeah.
It's almost like remembering.
It wasn't Reboot that I'm talking about. I'm desperately trying to find it in a minute. Hang on. But it wasn't Reboot. But I remember Reboot. Reboot was a really dodgy CGI kind of thing, wasn't it?
Speaking of dodgy CGI, did you guys or anybody in the chat ever remember the first computer game kind of shows was Games Master?
Yeah. Oh God,
Patrick, what you call him? Who did the Sky at Night with the monocle? Patrick.
Can't remember his name.
Can't remember his name.
Rubbish with
Patrick
names.
something or other, but he had like a CGI head, and he was the Games Master.
Yeah, and it was that. Jet was the game's mistress or whatever.
Patrick Moore, it was.
Patrick Moore. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Patrick Moore. Yeah.
I feel so
Ooh,
out of place.
didn't
I'm
know
25, so my era was Scooby Doo, Looney Tunes, and a
Can
load
it
of
be
Boomerang shows.
Can it be a bit of Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes?
I
Fuzzy,
grew
I
up on
didn't know
Boomerang.
that. Mask
Ah.
cameo in there. I haven't read it yet, so I didn't realise that. That's interesting. Yeah. Dominic Diamond, that was him. Yeah, Dominic Diamond. And Patrick Moore. Yeah. Speaking of Looney Tunes, I mean, I love a bit of Looney Tunes, but again, going back to my era, it was Muppet Babies. Any of you guys see Muppet Babies?
Muppet Babies. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love that as well. Animaniacs, Pinky in the Brain.
Yep.
Loved Pinky
So
in the Brain.
I've said before, when I was growing up, I had the original Sky. I was lucky enough to have it, and there was a channel like they're saying there called Boomerang, and it would basically show all the old cartoons. Because like Cartoon Network at that point was growing, and it started having like Cow and Chicken, Dexter Laboratory, Johnny Bravo. So they made Boomerang for all the old stuff. So like they had like Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes and Wacky Racers and all the cool stuff. But then they started putting like, do you remember when they did like a Scooby Doo Kids?
Yes.
When they were all like Scooby Doo as a kid and Shaggy was a little kid and stuff. I remember all them kind of shows. But like say Muppet Babies was always on first thing on the morning.
Loved Muppet Babies.
They tried to revive that a little while ago and it flopped.
Yeah. Alex is saying, slightly off topic, but did we discuss Avengers delays? We haven't.
No.
We haven't.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, it got pushed back till December for both films, didn't it? But I see why they've done it. It's a good time for the movie to come out is December, and a lot more people will go see it because it's Christmas.
And you know what? Do I want to see it as soon as possible? Absolutely. But if it's pushed back, so it's got longer to get the effects right, to get the script right, all that kind of stuff, I'm all for it. There's lots of talk all the time. I don't know if you guys see it, but one of the things that Marvel do is they'll start filming the movie before they've actually got the finalized script. So they're still writing the script during the movie. And I know most movies have that kind of, touching points of the script as they go. But this is literally, they don't have a complete script when they start writing, which I just think's mental, absolutely scary.
Right, I've done my internet sleuthing. Right, this was Computer Warriors. Right, and it came out in the 90s, and it was a toy line by Mattel, and they had a single pilot episode called Computer Warriors: The Adventure Begins. And you can see it on YouTube and stuff. And basically, it was like an antivirus that had kind of come out of this government computer, and then they kind of hid in everyday objects, and they were the toys, obviously. And then they created an antivirus that were the Computer Warriors, and they kind of flew in and out of the computer. And when they went into the computer, they used like kind of wireframe CGI, but then it was like a traditional kind of hand-drawn animation like Transformers and stuff. But yeah, Computer Warriors. It's just one of them. It's one of them intros that's kind of stuck in my head.
I've never even heard
There
of
we
that
go.
one.
Yeah, Computer Warriors. It was literally a pilot episode that was then released as like a standalone VHS movie, and a Mattel line in the early 90s. But yeah.
Jill's just asking there, did you have any Scooby-Doo comics? I bought the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse bunch that came out, the weird ones that were like, it was good, that I enjoyed that. I want them to do that again. Did you see
series, that?
Did you see this week, I think it is coming out, or is it next week, with the Jetsons comic? And it's like a dark, futuristic version of it. It's like a what if they were real kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Really?
Like a dark, twisted Jetsons. It looks awesome.
I've got the first Scooby-Doo appearance in a UK comic. So
Ooh.
the not the
Is that a Scooby-Doo impression there?
No, but Scooby-Doo impression is.
So I've got that one, and I've got a couple of. I've just recently bought a blank cover Scooby-Doo because I'm going to get that for a friend and get something drawn on it. But I haven't got the gold key first appearance of Scooby-Doo. It's a pricey book, about £1,000. But yeah, I'd like that one.
But going back to what we're saying about Avengers, I mean, Alex is just saying there. I mean, they've not even really shown anything about Doctor Doom yet, and how he's going to look and stuff. So, yeah, if they're going to push it back and get it right, I'd rather them get this one right. This film needs to be amazing.
Absolutely.
We need to have the same feel we had for Infinity War and Endgame. We need that same feel again. So they need to get this one right.
I've got a feeling this is going to hit Infinity War kind of vibes, because everything's been a little bit like Thunderbolts has obviously had a good reception, but everything's been very kind of mediocre. There's not been that real jump, and I think this is going to do it. I really
hope. Sorry, mate, I keep cutting you off.
That's all right.
I really hope that we see Tom Holland fight Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom in this film, and have Tom Holland trying to appeal to him, kind of things. Like he wouldn't want to fight him, would he? He loved Tony Stark. So you could have a really emotional moment between them two while they're kind of like fighting, or he's trying to evade him. Would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some images. Apologies, whilst you're talking there, of this Computer Warriors. I've never seen that in my life. That's
No.
interesting. I've never seen
we
that
go.
before.
You're gonna go and watch it now, aren't you? I
Yeah.
mean, it was absolutely tack, but absolute crap. But yeah, it's just one of them ones. You know, you get them kind of random things stuck in your head, and it's just like the image of them flying into like the floppy disk part of the computer, and yeah, the toys were pretty cool, but they just kind of came and went.
The action figures look good.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. That's the other thing. C4 Darkman said, because obviously they pushed Avengers back, we've got Spidey coming out before Avengers now, so you know it's hopeful that there might be a tie in there, because you know the way that the Spider-Man storylines ended is he's kind of gone back to that street level, hasn't he? So there has to be some kind of link, but I think that a Robert Downey Jr. cameo may be a good shout for the after credit scene.
I'm excited for it.
What are your thoughts of people like Chris Evans coming back as like Captain Hydra and stuff like that?
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, the Captain Hydra storyline's not a storyline I particularly enjoyed. The Empire storyline, but I think, you know, to keep the characters coming out, keep it fresh. I don't necessarily want them back as Captain America until Secret Wars. I think you need to have pulled him back for like the final hurrah, as it were. He needs to be the person that unites them or whatever. My only negativity about all of these movies is we've done multiverse to death. So really, Secret Wars should have been a massive endgame level film where you get all of these old characters reappear and stuff. But by the time we get to that film, nothing's going to be a big excitement anymore. Who are they going to bring back that's exciting? We've had Wesley Snipes as Blade. Do you know what I mean? We've had the Human Torch. Who's left to reintroduce into the Marvel Universe as a variant or whatever?
Cyclops. I'm sorry, but seeing Cyclops in the blue and yellow, just like the same pop of when we saw Wolverine put the cowl down for the first time in the entire history of the films. It'll be the same when they bring back Cyclops. He's in the blue and yellow.
But that's
I think they've announced it though, haven't they? They've announced all those X-Men. To me, they shouldn't have announced those. Because no one would have jumped at them. Like people would have speculated that as an idea, but what a pop that would have been in the cinema for the X-Men, the original X-Men's come out in the like accurate costumes, like in an Avengers film. Like everyone would have gone mental. But now we were expecting it.
That's in Doomsday, not Secret Wars, isn't it? So we know he's going to be in Doomsday. So for me, Secret Wars needs to be the film where we get those surprise.
So
I think what they'll do is, it'll not necessarily be the bringing back of old characters. We might get a Nick Cage as Ghost Rider or whatever, but we'll probably have the existing MCU characters just playing variations of themselves. So we'll have Helmsworth playing 4 or 5 different versions of Thor. Please, Jesus, give us a Beta Ray Bill. Do you know what I mean? But we'll have Captain America playing Captain Hydra and a different Captain America and a different... That might be what we get, rather than jump backs to the old series, you know?
You know what? I wasn't that bothered. Like when they did that in Endgame, and then you saw Cap, like it was Cap versus Cap, wasn't it? Like it didn't do much for me. For me, the big thing with Secret Wars that they could do is to bring the Venom symbiote into it, like to kind of stay in line. You know, calling back to my comic book there, that was the original appearance of the black suit. That to me seems like the only logical kind of big reveal to kind of happen, is to kind of tie that Venom storyline, not necessarily the Tom Hardy storyline, but the Venom storyline, to bring it into the MCU by giving Tom Holland the black suit.
But don't forget, we know we've got the symbiote in the MCU because of the end of Spider-Man 3. because they had the Venom. You know, we're talking about kind of end scenes there before. At the end of Spider-Man 3, you've got Eddie Brock in the bar in the
And they
Tom Holland
get it under the
Spider-Verse,
glass, don't they?
and then he disappears but leaves a section of the suit.
Yeah.
They don't even need to do that. I mean, in the Secret Wars, they could even bring in what's his face from that '70s show, and just have the symbiote jump from one character to another. Because there could be a whole scene where it's jumping onto different people, like the symbiote's trying to find the perfect host.
Find a host.
And it's jumping to different characters, so we see venomized versions of different characters as well.
Yeah.
See, I would like to just keep it separate, because the thing is, with the Venom film, I'm a big Venom fan, and with the Venom film, we had that. We saw like the Venom symbiote attached to a horse, for God's sake. Like, you know, we saw everything.
Fish.
Yeah, exactly. Fish. We saw Venom with boobs. We had She-Venom. Like, had all that stuff. And obviously, in the original Tobey Maguire films with Topher Grace, I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, that version of Venom didn't land very well. Obviously, it's gone back and it's a bit more iconic now, but at the time, it didn't land very well. Whereas we just need like a real comic book accurate Venom. Like, and I think this is the opportunity for Marvel to do that, because we've now had those other versions. So give Spider-Man the black suit in Secret Wars, let him run around in the black suit. You've then got the Fantastic Four in the mix as well, so you can remove it and all that kind of stuff. Like, you could really do a kind of a comic accurate storyline that then gives us a real Venom in the MCU that's then a villain that then has that story arc of them becoming the anti-hero and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think that would have fans going mental. But
Alex is saying he's bummed Tom Hardy's not going to face off Holland. Well, you never know. We might get that in Secret Wars. We might get that in Secret. I'm not a huge fan of the Venom movies. I think they lent far too heavily into the comedy side of things for what our vision of Venom has. But we might still get that in Secret Wars.
Because of what Marvel is, you're never gonna really get overly dark versions of characters like Venom, because it's like Ghost Rider was quite mediocre because you can't lean into the dark side too much because kids want to watch them. That's the thing, isn't it?
But if you look back at the original Venoms in the comic books, like, they weren't as dark as the comic books are now. Like, you could have that comic book accurate Venom that, yes, he's big and bulky and scary looking, but he wasn't as dark as some of the comic books now are a lot darker. And obviously Tom Hardy's one went down the more comedic route with, like, it was a lot more like Deadpool, to be honest, with the way that he spoke and the jokes and stuff. Whereas Marvel have the opportunity now to kind of reinvent that Venom storyline and make it more comic book accurate. So
it is interesting, because I absolutely hear what you're saying, Sorrell, and there is this kind of thought that they've got to make it kid friendly and stuff, but I think there's also a massive argument and audience for the more adult stuff. Because I mean, if I think of some of my favorite Marvel stuff, it's like Blade and Werewolf by Night, and do you know what I mean? I don't think it sells as many kiddie toys and stuff, but I think, you know, that's the line that they need to be leaning towards.
Yeah, that's what the ideal is and what we want as fans. But the thing is, like films like King Kong versus Godzilla sells, the films like Fast and Furious, these god awful Mission Impossible sequels. What people want is a popcorn film, and the Venom films did that. They weren't films for comic nerds. They were films for an everyday going cinema goer that doesn't know the backstory.
Exactly what Fuzzy's saying there. Majority of cinema goers don't care about the comic stuff. It's the, you know.
No, but then you do have to look at, like, okay, the first Venom and even the second Venom to an extent, like, did very well, but then the third Venom kind of dropped off and people were kind of bored of it. Whereas I think if you do something, it hasn't got to be a completely comic book accurate storyline, but to follow the process a little bit. We've got Secret Wars coming up. Give him the black suit. Go from there and then introduce Eddie Brock and do all that kind of stuff. Like, you wouldn't have to be completely comic book accurate. But the thing that gets me is that these comic books, especially these iconic storylines in comic books, have a fan base and have a following. So if you put that into movie form, you're going to pick up the comic book fans, but surely there are going to be new fans as well because they're good stories. Like
Sometimes it just doesn't work, does it? I mean, if you look at something like, arguably the greatest graphic novel of all time,
Watchmen, yeah.
it just didn't
translate.
It didn't translate, and it was almost word for word, apart from the end. Personally, I would argue that's a phenomenal film.
Incredible, yeah.
Same with V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
but it didn't hit the mark with general audience wise, did it?
Nope.
But the argument I'd make against Watchmen, though, is that a great big black symbiote that eats people's heads is a bit different to a luminous blue penis.
That's very true. Very true.
it's a completely different.
To the giant blue penis.
It's a completely different. I loved Watchmen, though. Watchmen's an incredible watch. And have you ever watched it with the graphic novel open?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Just stunning. I don't think I've ever done that and actually just gone, okay, perfect, yeah. Phillips Comics. Now, I liked it, but it didn't land the same as like the original. The first two did it.
It was crap. I hated it. I hated everything about it. Yeah.
Just
you didn't like the big dance scene where him.
No, this is my problem with it. Do you know what? I'm a very laid back nerd most of the time. If it's got a bit of action and stuff in it and it's good special effects, I'm happy. CGI winds us up. But it's got to make a bit of sense. That third film made no logical sense at all. No. The dance scenes were just ridiculous. Mrs. Chen appearing in Vegas to have a dance off with him was just
beautiful. Oh, sorry. Right. No, I agree. And the Life Foundation as well. Like they had it there. It's like, here we go. Here's like, what is it? 4, 5 other symbiotes that like are all different colors, and that here's your concept. Go with it. People will enjoy it. And it's like they almost went, oh yeah, we really like that concept, and we're gonna change it, like, and just do something different.
The problem for me with the Venom movies is a bit like a lot of films, I guess, is that each film had exactly the same kind of bad guy. So I wanted to see Venom fighting something different, but Venom 1 fights basically a version of Venom. Venom 2, he fights Carnage. Should have been spectacular. Carnage is amazing, but became kind of a cut and paste of Venom. Venom 3, yes, he fights some monstery things, but again, it's just lots more Venoms. And it's like, well, give us something different, man,
Yeah. Well, they teased Noel, didn't they? But then where'd that go?
Jenko was saying, did you ever watch the Watchmen TV show? I saw that and I quite liked it. I thought it's very different to Watchmen, but yeah, I quite liked it. And have you watched the special edition of Watchmen? I haven't seen it with the pirate story added in.
I don't remember the pirate story, but I've seen like the ridiculous 4-hour-long version of the Watchmen. But I don't remember a pirate story being in it.
So in the comic, there's in between each issues, there's kind of like a news.
News thing.
But I don't remember seeing it in the film.
Don't remember it. But what I was saying earlier was because like a lot of people seem to be thinking that the Doomsday movie and then Secret Wars are two separate things. I'm seeing it more as like the End Game and Infinity War kind of the bookend movies. I think Doomsday will end on a cliffhanger that will be resolved in the next, in Secret Wars. I think it'll be very much like End Game and Infinity War again, because it's the Russo brothers again, isn't it? It's the same people that made it, so. This is a continuation of their story arc from that, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think
but even that's been done now. Like, we saw a lot of people die at the end of it, and we were kind of like left going, "Whoa!" Like they've killed people off. Like, this is unheard of. For us to then find out that people came back and all that kind of stuff, but
I've got a feeling this time you might kill off. This is why I was saying, like, how cool would it be if Pedro Pascal wasn't actually the Reed Richards we were going to get going forward? So you kill him off early on, and then don't bring him back. So you leave fans going, shit, you know what I mean? Like, they've just killed off a major character. Anyone's open to die here now.
Yeah, but they kind of did that in WandaVision with John Krasinski.
Yeah,
that was a mouthful to get out. They gave us Reed Richards from the Illuminati, and then Wanda just pulled him apart, and everyone kind of went, "Ooh."
It's interesting because I think Sorrell's right. I think we've not had the build-up we've had for Thanos. So Thanos was teased multiple times, and you got the threat idea, and you saw him do stuff. And if you remember at the start of Infinity War, he had that when you finally saw him properly on screen to demonstrate what a threat he was. He kick the crap out of the powerfulest character we have, which is the Hulk, to show his level of threat. people don't really know anything about Doom. We've not seen him hinted at in anything. So they've got to have that moment at the very start to show this guy's a credible threat. So I think he'll either do as Sorrell said, we'll see the Fantastic Four go down or something, or you'll literally see him wipe out a few realities. And I think that's why we're getting the X-Men cameos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to see their universe, Doom just obliterates them and kills everybody. Bit like we had in Multiverse of Madness. You know, it'll probably be quite a short scene of him just destroying and killing everybody to show that he's a credible threat.
Yeah.
I would love it if they just did the thing from the comic and just have Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom destroy Thanos.
Yeah,
Just to rip his, just do that scene from the comic. That'll just instantly go, crap, this guy's more powerful than Thanos. We already know Thanos was the hardest villain we've had so far.
Yeah.
Do that, and then you make Robert Downey Jr. an actual threat.
Yeah. I don't know. There's an element of Robert Downey Jr. as well being Doom. It's kind of discredited it a little bit for me.
I don't think he is Doom. He's going to be Doom in this reality, but I don't think he's, like I say, I don't think he's going to be the Doom for the Fantastic Four going forward. He's just going to be it's just to sell tickets for these movies. Eventually, we will get an extra. We might even see it in the Fantastic Four film. They've just not shown it yet because they're trying to build up Robert Downey. But we might see it, Victor Von Doom, in this, because he, is the big bad guy for Fantastic Four. There's no way they're not going to have him, but there's no way they're going to keep paying Robert Downey Jr. to do it.
Yeah, this was a rumor going around as well. Miles Teller coming back. Obviously, Miles Teller played Reed Richards in the reboot, shall we say?
Yeah.
In the Fantastic Four that didn't do overly well. But yeah, him coming back as the Maker would be quite cool.
I mean, that would be really interesting because the Maker's an excellent character. It could be quite interesting.
I think Teller's a decent enough actor. Like, he could pull that off. I think he's got the range to do a character like that justice. But yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I'm really hopeful, but I'm skeptical at the same time.
I just want to be entertained. That's it.
Yeah.
I just want to be entertained.
Yep.
Good CGI, please. Special, practical effects as much as possible.
Are either of you going to go and see Karate Kid on Wednesday when it comes out?
No.
No.
I'm not. I don't know why.
Got my tickets.
I'm just.
I
don't know why. I'm just not that interested in it.
I'm not overly fussy. Only because my son wants to see it. I'm like, okay, we'll go and see it. But yeah, I kind of gave up on it. But I hope there's something really big in it so that I can come back and be like, guys, like, Mr. Miyagi's not dead. Like, like,
no, because that was bad enough in Cobra Kai when they brought him back as a CGI thing. Oh, that was awful.
Oh, I quite liked it.
Really? It was so badly done.
Yeah, it wasn't. I just didn't expect it. I think that's what it was. Is I wasn't expecting to see him, so it was kind of like, oh, that's quite cool. But yeah, but no. But I'm thinking, apart from that, there isn't. What else is coming out movie wise?
28 years later, as Alex says, hype for that. Can't wait for that.
That's the big one. That is the big one, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Looking forward to
that's. Didn't they do a cinema release for 28 Days Later recently?
Not that I saw.
I'm sure it was there for like a day. Maybe it was just somewhere local to me, but it was definitely in a cinema local to me recently.
I know we've got another stupid John Wick movie coming out.
How dare you? How
What, the
dare
ballerina?
you? Ballerina. Cannot wait. Can it be the John Wick?
He's actually in this spin-off and all, isn't he? He's actually in this one.
Yeah.
John Wick's
other
kind
than
of
that, we've got-
done for Assassins what Fast and the Furious done for cars. It's kind of like it's a franchise they could just keep going with, and people would still love it and eat it up.
Other than that, we've got the How to Train Your Dragon live-action movie. That looks pretty good.
Looks interesting.
Yeah. I'm okay with
Megan 2.0.
Not bothered. Not
Yeah,
bothered.
I'm
The
really looking forward to that.
first one did not do enough for me to want a sequel. I'm like, it was cool, but I wasn't left going, oh, I definitely need more of this.
And then we've got The Conjuring 3 as well, the final film in that franchise. They're doing away with all of it, Annabelle and everything after this film. It's coming to an end.
Yeah,
Needs
they
to,
should have done
really.
that like 6 years ago, to be fair. Like, but yeah.
But apparently they're going back to basics, and it is going to be just the Warrens going to do a haunted house thing. Annabelle and the Nun and all that are not in this film apparently.
Okay.
So
See, but that has potential to be good. Because
yeah,
I think
I'm hoping
those
it's going to be
original
like
ones were scary. Like,
1 and 2 were amazing, great movies. So they need to go back to that. Them just turning up to a house and trying to banish the demons.
yeah. And that's got potential. That's definitely got potential. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm looking forward to be fair.
There's a film called F1 coming out if you want to watch a film about fast cars going round and round in circles.
Brad Pitt. I think it's a Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah. Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Not bothered about that. Not bothered about that.
I didn't think I would be, but I went and saw. Oh, was it Gran Turismo? That was quite good. Quite enjoyed that.
I haven't even watched Andor yet.
I'm not.
No, me neither.
I'm well behind on Andor.
It's all available, isn't it? The whole thing's out now.
Yeah, I'm working my way through Black Mirror at the moment. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Although the last episode was a bit weird. But yeah.
What was the last one you watched?
It was the what was it again? See, I've tried to block it out of my memory. It was a one. Do you know when you're watching one and you're on your phone at the same time? That's how I know it wasn't particularly that good for us. So it was the one before the last one. The last one I've watched was the one with the guy who was Doctor Who, and that was really interesting about the race of computer things.
You know, that's an app. It's available to download as well.
Is it? No. I really enjoyed that episode. I can't remember what the one before that was. I've blacked it from your memory.
It wasn't the girl that can travel through time, was it?
No, I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, can't remember.
Well, let's not forget the film of the year coming out later on this year, isn't it? Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
And there's also The Bride coming out this year as well. Finally, well looking forward to that. So Maggie Gyllenhaal is basically playing the Bride of Frankenstein. It's got a right cast listing. The cast on that looks awesome. Christian Bale, Penelope Cruz, Peter Skarsgård, Julianne Hough. It's just got everyone in it. It's just you know all the names. You know what I mean? It looks good.
Yeah, no, that looks incredible. I'm really looking forward to that one. No, the episode I was thinking of was the Hotel Riviera, the one where the actress goes back into the film. Her mind's transported into the film.
Yeah.
That one didn't do anything for us.
That was a weird one. Like the concept of it was quite good in regards to that she basically lived this whole life in a couple of minutes in reality. But yeah, I thought the concept was good, but I don't think the story executed it well. If that makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I remember that one. I'd blank that one out of my memory actually. I love Black Mirror. I really do. I think it's fantastic. I think it's just such a good. I think
we need an anthology horror type show again. You know, we're teased with on Netflix. Well, what do you call them? Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity.
Yeah, that was good.
Which was pretty good. But then it just kind of there's not been anything else mentioned about it.
He's been working on Frankenstein, though, hasn't he? He's been working on his version of Frankenstein. Yeah. He wants to build his own monster universe.
Yeah. So we need something like that again, you know. I mean, I know there's been hints, hasn't there, about an Ice Cream Man TV series based on the comic book, which is an anthology horror / kind of sci-fi show. That would be interesting.
Is that the geezer that takes fingers? What's that comic book? It's like a guy that collects fingers. It's really creepy. Really creepy.
No.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It is really creepy.
That's not Ice Cream Man.
No, he's got a name like that though. Yeah. Oh, it's just literally just hit a thing. I can't remember.
You're not. Is it a distillery book? Issue 1 came out recently. About the cop who's in a retirement home. He's after a serial killer. No, not different.
No.
The Cadbury's Man. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll find out and I'll let you know. I'll let you know in the next one.
Saying, don't bother watching The Working Man. It's okay if you want to waste a couple of hours, but not Jason's Best. I've seen that, Shelley. It's typical Statham madness. Not a patch on Beekeeper. I loved The Beekeeper. Working Man is okay, but not great. I agree with you.
Is his style now to just basically take a job and mix it with like
Yeah.
an assassin, like
So
the milkman.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do you know what? To be fair to the guy, he knows his strengths. He doesn't try, and he's not going to win any Oscars. He comes in, hits a few things, goes home. That's a Statham film. And to be honest, I'm happy with that. That's all I want.
I thought Transporter was like pinnacle Statham.
Yeah,
I thought that was just fantastic.
I mean, Beekeeper. If you haven't seen Beekeeper's, like I say, he hits things, but it's actually a really interesting concept.
Is he a beekeeper?
Well, so yes, he is. He does look after bees, but the idea of a beekeeper is it's this kind of clandestine organization that's a worldwide network organization that's entire job is to protect the hive. So they're outside of any kind of process or anything like that. And basically, whenever they think the hive, which is society, is under threat, they can come in and I've probably made it sound shit, but it is quite good. It's decent fun. It's decent fun, and it's got franchise potential. The Meg, Alex, dear sweet baby Jesus, the Meg 2 was horrific.
Do you ever read the book?
No.
The books are actually decent. I'm not gonna lie. When I read the books, I was like, oh, this is fun, but the movies didn't do it justice.
I've been doing some digging while you were talking about crap movies. I've been doing some digging. And Amazon Prime UK are doing it in the UK, so people in the UK will be able to go see it. Superman, 4 days early. So Amazon UK is offering early screenings of the new Superman movie as part of their Prime Premiere event. Amazon Prime members can reserve tickets on the Prime Premiere section of the Amazon website a week before the event. The early screenings will take place at select theatres. So it's probably going to be London-based, probably, maybe a couple up north, I'm not sure. But usually they're like in London, aren't they? It's like a red carpet kind of thing. It's like when Hasbro sent everyone, like Jacob went to go see the what do you call it movie? Transformers
1.
Yeah, you saw that early, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I saw that months early. I saw that in like the July when it came out in the October.
Yeah, it sounds like one of them kind of events though, where Amazon are just paying for you to see it a little bit earlier.
I bet it's not coming to Newcastle.
No, but to be honest with you, 4 days isn't enough time for me to kind of try to jump through the hoops of securing a ticket. Like, if it was like a month early or something, then maybe I'd go like, yeah, it's probably worth chasing. But it's less than a week.
Snatch was a phenomenal film, absolutely phenomenal. Oh yeah, talking about films coming out, guys. Predator Badlands is out soon, isn't it? That might even be. Is it this week or next week? Badlands. Sorry, not Badlands. The cartoon one.
The
cartoon one, yeah.
Killer of Killers or something, isn't it?
I've got a feeling that's out this week or next week.
Let's have a look. 6th of June on Disney Plus.
That's next week.
Killer of Killers.
Nice. Prime do 2 Odin tickets for a tenner. Where? Where's that little nugget of like information? I didn't know that. Did not know that. Thanks very much, Alex.
Yeah.
You learn something every day.
I'm annoyed because at the minute my cinema's still going through a remodeling. It was a Cineworld and now it's becoming an Odeon. So I've got to go all the way to Wakefield now to see a film, which is a pain in the backside.
What, because it's being made up still? Or you just refuse to go to an Odeon? No, so
Cineworld Castleford got shut down because they refused to pay the prices for the Xscape building. But the Odeon jumped on it instantly because obviously the foot traffic in there is insane. So Odeon jumped on it. But obviously people in my area haven't had to go further than the end of the road in Ponty to see a film for about 20 years. So I mean, I don't remember. I remember going to the Wakefield cinema, but like I was a child. You know what I mean? It's weird to go back there now after all these years. But like because the cinema was at the end of my street, you kind of feel like I could go see anything because it's so close. It takes 2 minutes to get down there. Yeah. Whereas now I've got to go I've got to travel like 10 miles to go see a film. So I'm like, you don't want to see the crap films now. Like whereas before I'd sort of take a punt on anything, just to go to cinema for a few hours. Oop, Nino. Sorry, big fire truck just went past. This Ponty is on fire.
Okay. Anyone that's an Amazon Prime Google codes, and you'll get a one-time code to enter when you book the tickets on the app.
Nice.
Good to know.
So we're coming to the end of the show and we've not even talked about the main topic, really.
No, we haven't
We
really.
touched on it for a split second.
No, we haven't really. We've mainly talked about films.
Crap at podcasting.
But we've got to talk modern toy collecting. We'll talk about it on another one, I guess.
Come back for another show where we don't fulfill our promises.
Where we don't live up to what we. Yeah. To be fair, I'm absolutely shattered. I've had about 4 hours sleep this weekend. I am like proper, like falling asleep as I sit here. It's just been a manic week for us. Mixed in with Comic-Con, I just haven't slept. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know what time it was, to be fair. just here chatting away. But yeah, there we go. We are at the end of the show. Unbelievably. So yeah, we'll do episode 193. See, we sell that's what people like. We say we're going to do one thing, that's not what you're coming for. So you're going to watch Coronation Street and you get EastEnders instead. That's basically how we advertise our podcast. But we'll be back next week with episode 193. We'll decide on what the topic might be and then do something different. And we'll be obviously back on the same channels. Let us know what you thought of comments coming up on the screen. I'm okay with it. I think it kind of worked a little bit, but yeah, let us know what you think. What did you guys think of it actually tonight?
I wasn't even looking at it, to be honest. I've got the comments on the side.
Yeah.
That's what
I've just been looking. So that's really the comments on screen is really for you guys. So yeah, let us know what you thought of that, and whether that works or not. It's something we can obviously do moving forward. But yeah, what's that? Mid-year stream should discuss what's on your wish list. Look, Mum, I'm on TV. Can barely see it. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. There we go. Good feedback. Check the description of the video. Obviously, go and check all our individual accounts. Give us a follow and that kind of stuff. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time for episode 193. Anything you guys want to say before you sign off?
I'm live Tuesday night with my comic book and pickup channel over on Tripe G Comics at 9 o'clock.
Nice. Sorry, you got anything coming up next week?
I'm on the road to 100k, so I'll be pumping out a load of crap streams. Woo!
Nice.
Very cool.
On the road to 100k. Nice.
I
am. Cool. All right then, guys. Till next time. Keep it geek.